Adam, some people use these verses from chapter 53 to claim that every word the prophet spoke is part of divine revelation.
Yes, Omar, I know exactly what you mean. They rely on verses 3 and 4 from chapter 53. Nor does he speak from his own desire. It is nothing but revelation revealed. But that interpretation is a common mistake, and it can be easily disproven in three clear ways from the Quran itself.
Please explain all three to me.
First, let's look at what Allah says in the Quran about what was revealed. In many verses, Allah tells us that the revelation is specifically the Quran, not every personal word of the Prophet. Here are just a few. Allah said in chapter 7, verse 2, "This is a book revealed to you, so let there not be in your heart any distress about it, that you may warn thereby, and as a reminder to the believers." And in chapter 6, verse 19, "And this Quran was revealed to me, that I may warn you thereby, and whomever it reaches." And in chapter 42, verse 7, "And thus we have revealed to you an Arabic Quran, so that you may warn the mother of cities and those around it, and warn of the day of assembly, about which there is no doubt." And in chapter 4, verse 105, "Indeed we have revealed to you the book in truth, so that you may judge between the people by what Allah has shown you. So do not be an advocate for the deceitful." These verses and many more make it very clear that the revelation is the Quran, and the Prophet's mission was to judge, warn, and lead using the Quran alone.
But aren't there other verses where Allah reveals things to the Prophet that aren't in the Quran?
Yes, that's true. Allah sometimes revealed personal matters to the Prophet, but that's not the same as religious legislation or guidance for all Muslims. Take this example from chapter 66, verse 3. "And remember when the Prophet confided to one of his wives a statement, and when she informed another of it, and Allah made it known to him, he made known part of it and ignored a part. And when he informed her about it, she said, 'Who told you this?' He said, 'I was informed by the knowing, the aware.'" That was personal information revealed to the Prophet, not part of the Quran or religious law. And don't forget the night journey, Al-Isra. Allah revealed it to the Prophet so he could witness his signs, but the people never saw it. Revelation here does not mean a universal law to be followed by others. So not everything revealed to the Prophet was part of the Quran or meant to be followed as divine law.
What's the second point to prove that not everything the Prophet said was a revelation?
The second point is that Allah corrected the Prophet in several verses of the Quran. For example, in chapter 66, verse 1, Allah said, "O Prophet, why do you prohibit yourself from what Allah has made lawful for you, seeking to please your wives? And Allah is forgiving and merciful." This clearly shows that the Prophet made a personal decision, and Allah corrected him, proving that not every word he spoke was a divine command or revelation. Another example is in chapter 9, verse 43. "May Allah pardon you, O Muhammad. Why did you give them permission before it was clear to you who were truthful and you knew who were the liars?" And in chapter 80, verses 1 to 2, he frowned and turned away, because there came to him the blind man. Finally, in chapter 18, verse 110, Allah instructed the Prophet to say, "Say, I am only a human like you, to whom it has been revealed that your God is one God. So whoever hopes to meet his Lord, let them do righteous deeds and associate none in the worship of their Lord." These verses make it clear. The Prophet was a human being who could make mistakes, and not everything he said was divine revelation. The only thing free from error is the message he was sent to deliver, the Quran, as that was his sole duty as a messenger.
So the Prophet could actually make mistakes?
Yes, Omar, he could. And Allah also mentioned mistakes made by other prophets in the Quran, like Adam, Moses, Yunus, and David. But it's important to understand the difference between a prophet and a messenger. The messenger is the one who delivers Allah's message. In the case of Prophet Muhammad, that's the Quran. A messenger cannot make mistakes in delivering the message itself. However, as a prophet living among his people, he gave advice, made decisions, and could make mistakes in his personal actions or judgments. That's why we are commanded to follow the messenger, meaning the one who delivered Allah's message. So to truly follow the messenger, we must follow the Quran.
So, what's the third way to prove that the revelation is the Quran only?
The third way is to simply read the Quran and pay attention to the many verses where Allah says, "They ask you," and then reveals the answer. This happens more than 10 times in the Quran. People would ask the Prophet questions, and he would wait for revelation from Allah to respond. That alone proves the Prophet didn't answer based on personal knowledge, only through what was revealed to him in the Quran. Take, for example, chapter 17, verses 73 to 75, where Allah warns the Prophet not to say anything except what was revealed. And indeed, they were about to tempt you away from that which we revealed to you, so that you would invent about us something else. And then they would have taken you as a friend. And if we had not strengthened you, you would have almost inclined to them a little. Then if you had, we would have made you taste double punishment in life and double after death. Then you would not find for yourself against us a helper. This shows how serious it would have been had the Prophet ever invented anything beyond what Allah revealed to him. Also in chapter 29, verses 50 to 51, Allah addresses people asking for more signs. And they say, "Why are not signs sent down to him from his Lord?" Say, "The signs are only with Allah, and I am only a clear warner. Is it not sufficient for them that we have sent down to you the book which is recited to them? Indeed, in that is a mercy and a reminder for a people who believe." Allah says clearly, the Quran is enough. Now look at all the hadith that talk about the signs of Judgment Day, listing events and details as if the Prophet had divine knowledge of the future. But here's what Allah says in chapter 33, verse 63. People ask you concerning the hour. Say, knowledge of it is only with Allah. And what may make you perceive? Perhaps the hour is near. Does it get any clearer than that? Allah commanded the Prophet to say, I don't know. Yet we have countless hadith claiming he knew exactly what would happen before the day of judgment.
It's honestly alarming. People are ignoring direct and clear words from Allah.
Yes, Omar. It's not just alarming, it's absurd. Let me close with this powerful verse from chapter 5, verse 99. The messenger's duty is only to deliver the message, and Allah knows whatever you reveal and whatever you conceal. That message is the Quran, and that's what we're commanded to follow.
Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed discovering the real Islam and found the information helpful.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you can continue learning more about Islam directly from the Quran.